again, I can't stress enough how in my essay I talk about how the people can be potentially harmful towards the animals' behaviors, and just the overcrowding there, like the sense that people, like, not everybody moves there for jobs. Some move there for families, some just don't want to be on the mainland anymore. Everyone has a different reason, but it's really important that they, like, sit down and they look at why they're living there and what the requirements are and what they have to live by while they do live there. I can't put words in people's mouths, but I'd love to know all of that is being taken into consideration. And my essay goes through a lot of how the reason why people move there is because of self-interest and getting those jobs and trying to survive themselves. But when they are trying to survive for themselves, they're really stepping all over that that ecosystem that's already there. And a lot of people who work for the Charles Darwin Center or the National Park are really trying to prevent that from happening and really make humans part of the life cycle there. It's very important to be part of the life and death circle, and you can't do that if the population is just growing uncontrollably. That's why it needs to be stopped. The animals will benefit greatly because these people are with them every day. Even if they stay on their 3% of the land, it's very hard for them not to come into contact with a lot of the animals. The sea lions are everywhere around the docks, and they really need to be careful about their actions too. Like, going back to that woman on the tortoise, like, if people are growing out of or their population is growing out of control, like, there won't be enough eyes and ears to monitor those kind of behaviors, and before you know it, like, the animals will be going extinct because we'll be getting them sick or stuff like that. It's really important that if humans want to live there and occupy a certain niche, that they join that ecosystem instead of walk all over it. And I know I completely agree with Emily in that you need to help who is there already before you can go on to bigger things, better things, or even allow more people to come. They really need to sit down and look at what they have and what they can do, and any Rollins student, Rollins trip, anything would be great to do service learning with the local hospital, the local school, like, help Emily out with her organization. We do need to focus on the population when talking about the Galapagos, because a lot of people don't know about it when they get there. Again, going back to Ecuador and the self-interest, which is another major part of my essay, people aren't aware, and when they get there, their activities change, and it hurts maybe their economy out on the islands. And she did say that 20% of tourism dollars stay on the islands, and that's very little compared to how much tourism goes on there. Like, think about it. Like, we're sitting on airplanes out there twice a day from almost 3 companies to that airport. Like, that's a lot of people, and again, like, there's so many ways we can help, and we do need to do, like, Habitat for Humanity, or, like, helping them build their homes and getting them those resources, because I've lived on an island and it's very, very, very hard to get stuff or even get out. The coffee plantations owners, like, his dad was apparently in the hospital on the mainland. Like, that's how far they need to go for that healthcare and stuff. And if Ecuador is going to continue pushing for advertisement that's purely based on the animals, then they need to also think about preserving the animal behavior. And if the locals are with them every day, then that's going to be very hard. And that's one of the main things that anyone who visits the Galapagos should keep in mind. And if they are visiting just for pleasure, or just to go on a cruise or a new vacation or traveling the globe or something, like, at least they'll be watched by the tour guides, and they'll be cleaning their shoes between the islands, and really making sure to preserve that animal behavior by staying on the paths and not ruining any nests or anything. Whereas we don't know if the locals would do that or not. And we don't even know if they have the want to do that, since no one's helping them and nobody knows about them. So Ecuador really needs to use that self-interest as a motivation on the islands to get things together and to keep that population manageable, and eliminate the corruption, if they want to keep this animal advertisement that they have, because it's really great. At some points it's great to have that emphasis on the animals, and I know even if I hadn't done all the reading about the population there, I'd still really only care about the animals, and how they are very special there, and how they are the roots to Darwin's theory about evolution, and every other scientist since has gone off of that. So it's really important. So the population, self-interest, and animal behavior are my main topics in my essay, and I think that there is a lot we can do to help. And even going back to the corruption, like maybe tourist boats won't get in trouble, but local boats will. If they're not abiding by the rules, like they don't bring in near as much money, and if anything, they're only fishing for like their themselves. Like it's all self-interest out there because there is nothing larger, and that's how it's going to stay. And I know it's very hard for people to understand, but eventually it'll even out. Like if the population evens out, if Ecuador like changes their advertisement or regulations, and the national park system helps, and we all help, you can eventually establish a community that is very sustainable. But as for now, I think tourism is the most sustainable way to keep those tourism dollars, and that 20% in general, no matter whether it's local dollars or tourism dollars, like in the islands. And they do need that revenue, and Ecuador does need that revenue to keep everything that they have functioning, and even build their community on the mainland even better. So human interaction is a very large part of the Galapagos, and so is money, just as money is everywhere. But it's great that Ecuador is using the dollar, and again, the people who are moving out there for the better jobs, there's very limited jobs. I don't know how many, my essay didn't really focus on that, but like just how the population needs to join the circle of life and death on the islands, and that's the most important part, regardless of what anyone has to say, and regardless of what research has been shown. Like in order to preserve those animal behaviors, and in order for humans to actually join the ecosystem instead of walking all over it and ruining the energy pyramid, just like Leopold said, like making violent changes to it, they need to equal out. And when a baby is born, someone dies, and when someone dies, a baby is born. Like it needs to like happen, just as humans were made to do too. Like I mean, we're Homo sapiens, we're animals, we're mammals. Like people need to realize their roots. And okay, there is no authority to tell people how to live or how basic they have to be, but I mean, they moved to these islands knowing that it's a national park, and it's even great that they're allowed to live there so far. So it's really a blessing. They really need to take pride and covet the opportunity they have to be part of science and history all in one. If I could get my name on there, I would, but I'm living in New York for now, and everyone needs to work together, and there can be tons of solutions.